The book deals and shows an ornamental phenomenon, what you can find in the Hungarian countryside on houses from the 60s and 70s. I'm photographing these houses since 10 years, and I have now around 1,000 photos. And these photos I did in an analog way with a 6:6 camera, and then I scan the photos, so I get then a digital photo. And these digital photos I work out in the after work process. That means that I eliminate from the photos all unnecessary elements, like the cables for the electricity or some tree branches, so everything what I think is unnecessary. I did that because I think this is the only way where this ornamental phenomenon can turn in and transformed in pure sign that really can form a kind of specific typology. Of course, we can look at this phenomenon on various viewpoints. One, we can talk about the house type. So in Hungary, you call them cube houses. In another word, Kádár cube. So after the János Kádár, he was, I think you know, the former leader in the socialistic period. These houses are 10-10 or 9-9 with these two typically windows and the tent roofs. The origin of the house, it's not really clear. But what is clear, absolutely, that this house type in the 60s and 70s override the traditional rural Hungarian folk architecture. But of course, there we have the ornamentation. The ornamentation not just found in that type of houses. In the 60s and 70s, they spread all over the village. And of course, my fascinating is this ornamentation phenomenon. We know that ornament is a kind of very fundamental thing from human being. Maybe we are afraid of places without anything. We have this topic of horror vacui. But of course, ornamentation is a very, very deep thing with socialization and also self-expression. So, and of course, I have my own point of view of this ornamental phenomenon. So my book has the subtitle, The Subversive Ornaments in Socialism. Of course, I don't think that this ornament is consciousness subversion. I think it's more, we are talking about a period which was, of course, very repressive and very uniformed world in this socialistic period. And the Hungarian population went through a very deep changing and needed new ways of self-expression. And so I think, this is my point of view, that this ornamental phenomenon is a kind of spontaneous, unconscious gesture, subversive gesture against this uniform socialistic world. Of course, we have an outside view where we can talk about a local modernist phenomenon. We have this also in other countries. And of course, this we can connect to two big topics we're talking about in architecture after Second World War. So we have on one hand the Soviet modernism, and on the other hand we have the brutalism. So we're talking about the same period after the beginning or the middle of the 50s, the 60s, 70s, the beginning of the 80s. And then of course we have the inside view, the Hungarian inside view. We're talking about a period of Guláš communism. And here, the period, well, in Hungary, you meet there a big, how you say the word, I have to look in English, blind spot. So the Hungarian society, this ornamental phenomenon and also this whole era is inside this blind spot. And of course, this shows how we deal with this epoch, what we think about this epoch and how we remember to this epoch. And I think maybe it was necessary that, and that's why I told that I'm coming from Germany and I socialized in Germany, so I don't grow up in that. houses and in that world, so I have emotional distance. And maybe it was necessary that somebody coming from outside with an outside view and visualize this phenomenon. And in this process, that means also that in this process, it may be discussable. So let's say, I can say that these Hungarian cubes are a kind of virtual place of remembrance to this epoch. So, yeah. And I bring the book with me, but it's outside at the entrance table. Maybe if you like, you can have a look on it. So I was now so quickly that I'm already ready. Yeah. Well, that's the last one.